Sam et Kat, un duo toujours mythique. Cette interview date un peu, mais si vous voulez découvrir les plus récentes en VOSTFR, elles sont sur mon Patreon, lien en description.
Hey everyone, it's me, Arthur Kade, welcoming the awesome Caitriona and Sam from Starz' new hit series, Outlander. Make sure to check out the series premiere on August 9th at 9 o'clock. They just came back from Comic-Con and are absolutely wonderful. Check it out. Hey everyone, it's me, Arthur Kade, and Sam and Caitriona, I am so mad at you guys because last night I stayed up till 1:30 in the morning watching the first 2 episodes of your brilliant new show, Outlander, and I need to be in bed by like 9 o'clock, but I guess I can't complain because you guys did this whole Comic-Con thing all weekend, and like I'm so jealous, mad, but I'm so happy to have you guys in here because this show is going to be an enormous hit for you guys, be an enormous hit for Starz, and it already has this enormous global following. I think I used enormous 14 times there, but congratulations. Talk to me about being part of this show, having this already engaged, incredible fan base attached, and having some fun going back in time.
It's enormous.
It's enormous.
Yeah.
The whole thing's enormous. Yeah, we feel really lucky. I mean, obviously, Diana Gabaldon sold over 25 million copies of these, this book series. And the fans have been really anticipating. I think the first one came out 20 years ago, so they've been really waiting for someone to bring it to the screen. And I think we feel really, really excited that we're part of that.
Yeah, and then going to Comic-Con in San Diego was just amazing. Just a fan event, and there we premiered, and to have them in the audience was terrific. They had some of the fans they're so crazy, and they know the lines from the book, or they know certain moments that they were laughing or crying, and then we had the fans people that don't know the series, and they were equally enjoying it, I think, so yeah.
It's funny you mentioned that because I didn't know the series, so I'm like, okay, what am I signing up for? And then after 2 episodes, I could have watched like 6 more. My producer and I were texting back and forth. I'm like, this show rocks. The reaction that you've gotten, has it been surreal to see how engaged these people are, how you'd mentioned crazy, how insane they are with this series? Yeah,
I mean, it's funny, when I got cast, I think I had about 200 Twitter followers, which I was really proud of. I was like, I'm big balling here,
me.
And within, 3-4 days of my casting announcement, I mean, it was just in the thousands, and it just keeps growing. And the thing about it is they're really supportive. Like Sam and I, they've collected so much money already for charities that we support, and they haven't seen anything yet. So it's sort of overwhelming, but it's also like it's just great. I mean, yeah, I don't know.
We regularly film up in the Highlands of Scotland, in the middle of a valley or a glen, and there's no access there, and somehow there's a group of outlandish bakers that turn up, and they've baked all these fantastic cakes and muffins and start feeding us, and it's incredible. I don't know how they find us, but somehow
it's like someone has got like a GPS tracker on one of our
maybe they've put one in a cake and someone's eaten it, and that's what they just follow. I don't know.
We have seen such an explosion right now with Game of Thrones, the Hunger Games. You have these renowned novels, these experiences. Harry Potter is probably the first that I can think of offhand, where you see a transition to film or television, and they become worldwide phenomenons. Mm-hmm. Outlander has that type of following. Playing the 2 leads on this show, is there a pressure to satisfy the fans, or do you go into it with this fresh outlook and say, here's how I want Claire Randall to look, here's how I want Jamie to look, and take your own approach to creating these characters?
Yeah, well, I think, in a way it was good. I didn't actually know about the book series before I sort of got to the final stages of the casting, and I obviously read the book right before I tested, but then we were just whisked away to Scotland and sort of kept in our little bubble, and that's good because as an actor, first and foremost, your obligation is to the character and to the work that you're doing every day, so you can't really think about other people's expectations, and they have a lot of strong ideas about what it should be.
One of the things I love is, after seeing the first 2 episodes, the chemistry between you two is so palpable and so there.
That was so
right?
hard. That was just really tough.
It looks like the chemistry was just awesome between you two. Is that instantaneous, or do you have to go through a process to get it there? How does that work?
They fed us a lot of alcohol and put us in a room for a while, and we worked on it.
I picked the wrong profession. I'm going into acting. If I looked like you, I would definitely be an actor.
No, I think I think from the first time that I met Sam, he had obviously been cast quite a while before I was. And so when I walked into that audition room to test, he was just the greatest guy. And like the two of us just started chatting away to each other while the producers were talking about something else. And it was just very instantaneous that we became very good friends. We had one day in London, we went for a big walk and we sort of talked a little bit about the characters, but just about our lives, and it just sort of started.
I think it just feels like trust. You know, I trust Caitriona, and I think it's fun. Every day's fun.
You are like the next big heartthrob because outside of being a really good-looking guy, you're also this character. He's taking beatings for women. He is like everybody's favorite prototypical man. Talk to me about this new heartthrob status. It's got to be a lot of fun for you. And don't give me the whole, I don't know, I'm a heartthrob.
I don't know, I mean, he's a fantastic character to play, and I did spend the first few months just getting beaten up all the time. It seemed to be Jamie's, he's constantly getting punished, and so yeah, it's a pretty physical role, but yeah, he's a fantastic character, and like he's quite, there's a lot of fans that have got expectations of that, so I hope we just do them justice, really. He's
being modest. Sam's the greatest guy, and I think that's what people are really, like, that's why women go crazy about him, because, no, but they say...
I would be so different in your position to be like, I am a heartthrob.
No, but it's you could really see what a good guy, and that shines through always. And he's not just the good-looking hunk. No. Not at 6 a.m.
No, not at 6 a.m. Certainly not.
Walk me through your first Comic-Con experience. It must have been something to cherish and remember.
It was. Well, the funny thing is we had, and I don't quite understand why, but we had the two biggest bodyguards.
Where you're going with that. Yeah. Big Al and Big Ben, yeah.
Who basically walked us through our Comic-Con experience. It was crazy. I mean, it was really fun.
Yeah, if there was a measure of like popularity or status, I think we would have been on the top. Unfortunately, there's not. But the last night we went to the Entertainment Weekly party, and like you could just see our bouncers in the middle. It was great. Whenever, it didn't matter, you know, where you were. If you got lost, you could always just look and you'd see your guy, and you'd be like, I know where I am. But no, it was an incredible. You know, we were only there 2 days. It feels like we were there. You know, a week. There was a lot of great meetings we had. We did a few panels.
We got to meet a lot of the fans.
Yeah, we you know, on the premiere was like the sort of the highlight and culmination of the whole weekend.
Claire Randall, she has a lot of layers. She's gorgeous, she's smart, but she also has to maneuver her way through some really tricky situations. Talk to me about building this character, and it looks like there's a lot ahead for Claire because she's got a lot of turmoil ahead, it seems.
Yeah, I mean, she's just such a great character to I mean, it's a dream role to be able to play. But I kind of started with, you know, she just came out of the war, you know, she's a woman of the 1940s. She just spent 6 years sort of on the front lines working as a combat nurse. And so a lot of my research and kind of trying to figure out where she was in her headspace was reading a lot of first-hand accounts of nurses from that time. And what kind of always shone through of each of these women were, you know, the resilience they had and the inner strength. And it's like people of that time, you didn't have the luxury of sort of collapsing and falling under the weight of adversity. You know, you just had to get up and keep going. So I think that's something that I really wanted to, you know, embody with her. And I also, my grandmother was a nurse during that time in the war, so there was like an emotional connection to that too. But she's been so much fun to play because she is this strong woman, but yet she's funny, she likes to drink, you know, she's quite a lot. You know, she's surrounded by these men all the time, but she does not let them get away with anything. And so she gives as good as she gets, and yeah, it's a really, really fun role.
When you look at what Diana has created with this world, I feel like one of the things that makes this show really special is there's a character there, which is the world of being in Scotland, the beauty, the scenery, the period piece. Talk to me about existing in this world, because it really does become, just from seeing the first couple episodes, you feel like it's its own character.
Yeah, I mean, I'm obviously I come from Scotland, and it was a real joy to be able to go back and to revisit, you know, where I was brought up and spent a lot of my youth. And that kind of feels where my character Jamie is from. You know, he's returning back to Scotland, and when you watch the show, you see this beautiful country. I mean, some of the locations we go
I feel
to.
like I'm on vacation watching it. I'm like, I want to be
Wait
with
till
them.
you see more.
Oh, so jealous.
And it's sort of, I mean, we keep sort of having to pinch ourselves because you look at it and you think, wow, have we done some sort of color grading to that or some CGI? But it's all, that really is how it looks. It's just, we've got amazing light there. And we've been fortunate, we've sort of seen the seasons go as well. We started shooting around sort of the end of summer and into autumn, so all the colors changed in the trees. So it's magical.
You're living in Glasgow now, you were just telling me.
Yes.
Talk to me about that experience.
Well, coming from I spent about 12 years in the US before I got this job, and I most recently was in LA. So the weather's definitely a little bit different. But for me, it's actually been really great because, you know, I'm Irish, and Scotland it feels familiar, but it's different, and it's been a new discovery. I mean, I hadn't really been outside Edinburgh before. So I've really loved sort of learning about the countryside and seeing all of that. But people there are great, you know, and that's one of the things, you know, we have a very grueling schedule, but we have the best crew. Like, they're such great people to work with. And I think that's what Scotland, you know, it has the most amazing people and the amazing kind of culture and history. So it's been
really good for Scotland as well. You know, this has employed a lot of people. There's some great craftsmanship going on in the show, you know, from the sets, which are magnificent, to, you know, to sort of the costumes and mostly our crew is mostly Scottish as well. So it's been, you know, a real labour of love for them as well, I think.
So what's next for the show? I know you can't give away too many spoilers, but I was left hanging after episode 2, so I want to know what's next. Give me something.
Well, the cool thing I think about our show is you're going to see a little bit more of Claire at the castle. And sort of the political jockeying that happens there. But after a few episodes, we go on the road, and the show just becomes something completely different. You know, we're outside in even more spectacular locations, and then, stuff just gets more intense, more dangerous. It just ramps up.
Constantly, the sort of thing, it's turned on its head a lot, the expectations. So each episode kind of almost has its own theme or feel to it. And we're doing 2 sets of 8 episodes. So there's like a climax at the end of the first part. And then I think the second part of the series just gets darker and, you know, more extreme, and the stakes are a lot higher. So
how many more beatings can Jamie take?
A lot, apparently.
A lot, and he gets a lot. So it's, I mean, it gets really intense, and I think it's going to be some great viewing.
Congratulations, guys. Although I still am extremely angry and jealous that you were at Comic-Con and I wasn't. You two are both super delightful, and your show is going to do fantastic. So congratulations. You do a great job with it.
Thank you so much.
Je traduis des contenus Outlander depuis 2019. Pour accéder à l'ensemble de mes archives, mais aussi aux vidéos les plus récentes, pensez à vous inscrire sur mon Patreon.